It
Right
is.
on time.
Um, okay. So, hi everybody. Welcome to the Psychomilk YouTube channel. We are here now with some of the BL movers or the boys love movers here in the country and the Philippines specifically, and the rest of the world. We have people in the US. We have people from Thailand, and our guest for tonight will be focusing on three questions, which mainly will be a sort of a candid discussion between different points of view on the BL genre and how it affects, or sometimes it is issue based, and how it also can be a tool to promote better understanding for the issues of the GBATI plus. Okay. So the persons we have right on board now is, of course, we have Shaki from the US. He is a reactor. Hello there, Shaki. We have
Hello.
any words, Shaki, of welcome?
Any words of welcome? Um, do I just like say my name or something, or what I do? I don't know.
Yeah, invite them to your channel or whatnot.
Okay, all right. Well, hello everyone. My name is Shaquille, also known as Shaki on YouTube. I am a BL reactor to our favorite BL shows, whether that be Pinoy or Thai BL. We have a good time here, just try to create a safe space of love and happiness. So come over to my channel, subscribe, baby.
There you go. I missed that. Also, we have Mr. Vincent De Jesus, the writer of My Extraordinary from Asterisk Digital. Sir
Hello,
Vincent?
good evening. Good evening. I'm Vincent De Jesus. Yes, I wrote My Extraordinary. And previous works were Changing Partners and mostly musical plays for the theater, like Care Divas and Charges Saturna Himala, the musical. And
Wow.
that's it.
Okay. Um, we have Sir Carlo Obispo. He's also the director and writer of Better Days, the series. Sir Carlo?
Yes, hello. Good evening from Philippines. Yeah, this is Carlo, and yeah, I'm a filmmaker here based here in Philippines. I'm just one of the filmmakers who tried to like adapt to the new normal. So we kind of shifted from the cinema to the online platforms, namely like YouTube. And so right now, BL series is one of the trends here, and yeah, that's what we are trying to explore. And so far, I'm liking it, making BL series. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Sir Carlo. We have Lance Lucas. They also have a YouTube channel, and he's also here for the fans' point of view. Lance?
I'm yeah, hi, it's Lance, and I'm part of the Brouhaha B Squad. So you can follow us on YouTube and Twitter. What we normally do is we do reaction or after show chats, wherein we try to discuss all the issues tackled in a BL or in other films and movies or series that we see.
Thank you, Lance. And our first Thai author, actually, to grace us tonight is Samun Seen. She is the writer and author of the book and part of the production also of one of the most anticipated series coming from Thailand, A Manner of Death. We have Samun Seen.
สวัสดีค่ะ Good evening guysสวัสดีค่ะ I am Salmon, so I am a writer of Manner of Death and also BL novels such as Triage and Diagnosis and also Euthanasia and a lot more.
There you go. So I believe a lot of us are waiting for those scenes. We also have Sir Allenberg Ang. He's a producer and the producer of Hello Strangers and some of other projects, short films, and other award-winning works from the Philippines. Sir Alem?
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thanks for inviting me here.
Hi, Alan.
Hi,
Hello, Sir Alem.
Vincent. Hi,
Hi.
Carlo.
Uh, Okay. Sir Alam is actually representing Hello Stranger and a lot of other BL works, and some of the other works coming from their company or from their team. Now, as I said earlier, we will be discussing three questions, and over the course of our forum today, some other people will come in because of schedule restraints. Some might be leaving, but we will be discussing. For now, I would like to introduce also the other members of the Psycho Milk team. We have Nate, who also has his own channel. Nate, any words?
Hello guys. Hello Sir Vincent, Sir Carlo. Sawadika. Um, I forgot your name. Miss Salmon and Sir Alem Ang, and also hi Shaki,
Hi.
and hi everyone.
We also have Miles, who's from Indonesia. She's our contributor and also part of the YouTube team of Psychomilk. Miles?
Hello everyone. Good evening, and maybe to you in the US, good morning. Thank you so much for joining our session tonight. So let's have some fun. Thank you.
Salamat
Okay.
Pagi.
And
Oh,
Terima kasih.
thank you so much.
also behind us or hosting our forum tonight is Steve, also part of the Psychomilk family. He will be talking later on, but for now, I'd like to introduce the first question so that we can actually interact and discuss this. Question number one. Um, How is BL, Boys Love, or BL, used as a medium to educate not only the straight community, but even the members of the LGBTQ community? So basically, what I'm asking is, how is this a medium for change, basically, or for better understanding from both the straight community and the LGBTQ community? I'd like to ask first, Sir Alam.
I guess it I wouldn't like to use. I don't know if the term normalize is a good
Mhm.
word to use, but it actually shows how a couple, an LGBT couple, um, looks like, no, in a normal, I guess, a normal setup or a normal relationship, much like how any other straight couple would look like. So I feel like it makes people more aware. It shows people that it's not something that's bad or negative or even sinful. Because it feels like and it looks like just any other normal relationship.
Okay, thank you for that, Sir Alan. But also, I'd like to welcome Sir Vince Tanyada, the director of Why Love Why. Hello,
Hi
Sir
guys.
Vince. Do you have any words to?
Hi.
Yeah.
We're the new kid on the block. I'm Vince. I'm the writer and the director of Why Love Why.
Okay.
Hi guys.
Ito
Um,
tayo.
as a
Hi.
segue,
Hi to kayo.
Tayo.
yeah, we have a lot of Vinces here tonight. One other Vince, or probably two, will be coming in later on.
Oh,
Uh,
really?
Before I go to Sir Vince or either of the Sir Vinces, I'd like to see how a writer who's actually been writing novels on boys' love feel about the question: how can we educate not only the straight community and even members of the LGBTQ community about boys' love? Can I ask Miss Salmon Scene, please?
Um, I think BL series is a pretty good medium to educate people for now first, because it is so popular and so recognizable in this day. So a lot of people can touch, can see BL series. That's why it's a pretty good medium for now. Compared with in the past, BL in Thailand used to be like underground. They are hidden, and not a lot of people see what BL is compared to now. So it is bigger, more successful, and a lot of people see. Even my mom know what BL is. So I think the popularity is a good medium to put some information to give to other people and for to let them know what LGBT is. Mhm. It is a good medium. I have to admit that actually BL was not born for education. They are born
Mhm.
for entertainment
Mhm.
and a little bit of fantasy, something like that. But for now, I think it's time to change. It's time to improve the quality of the media that they can as that a lot of people see and if we improve they put more if we put more information in it to make them understand more about LGBT community in real life, I think is good. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Miss Scene. Um, what do you think about that, Lance? As a fan and as someone who actually discusses the tropes and
Yeah.
the issues that are in a BL series per episode.
Yeah,
What do you think?
and I think that it's a good journey to start or to educate and insert that right now, especially that the wave of the BL is splashing big into Southeast Asia or especially in the Philippines,
Mm.
wherein we're trying to battle to get our voice heard, especially in this moment in time. And with the BL becoming, as a fan, I think the BL is now a reflection of who we are as a people, who we are as the LGBT community. That they're telling our stories now, unlike before. That I think Miss Salmon was saying that they were just an entertainment fantasizing between a man and a man. But now these BLs that are coming in right now are telling our stories. We can relate to them personally. So if that there's a relatability in that BL, I think that it could blur the lines between the straight this and the homosexual relationships. It could just be like love is love. And once the straight community would see that it's just love is love. And I think we would be they could be used as a good platform to educate more people.
Mhm. Um, that is for me. Actually, looking at the scenario, it's actually a very Asian outlook. What do you think
Yeah.
about that, Shaki, coming from a country such as the West, wherein a lot of your thoughts now coming from the reactors are actually making the BL stories, the BL genre evolve in a way that we actually did not expect.
I think pretty much what everybody said. I mean, we're
Mm.
trying to normalize this type of genre. I know it's such a weird word to use because we don't really see a lot of television shows that has a focus point on LGBT related issues or just
Mhm.
gay just in general. That's why now instead of BL there's also GL as well. So it's nice to see. We don't really see it often. So the fact that a lot of writers, a lot of directors are taking it on, showing it off, putting it in our faces, which is not something that a lot of us are used to because we're so used to the straight thing where it's only heterosexuals being showcased in regards to romance and stuff like that. It's a pretty big deal. So I'd say we're definitely molding minds, changing opinions, and it's about damn time.
Yeah. Um, Sir Carlo, what can you say about that?
Yeah, I would like to agree with Alem no, when he said
Mm-hmm.
normalized. Although in Philippines it's kind of like still subjective because it's not like widely accepted. Pero yeah, but with the emergence of BL series, like more and more audiences are getting aware, getting more educated about like we are just the same. We are all normal. We are all humans falling in love, and we're in gender does not matter. And yeah, it's a very good venue to actually reach out for wider audiences because of like yeah, it's online and it's very accessible. And I feel that in the Philippines it's getting like a very good reception and the building the community that is being built by the LGBT is becoming more stronger, and we are being more familiar with this kind of stories that we are just the same, and love is becoming genderless, and Yeah, I believe that we are getting good signs of like educating our Filipino viewers.
Mm.
Yeah.
I love that line that we are. It's actually something that Lance said. We're blurring the lines, and then you said that we are normalizing. We're doing things that are actually now people are more accepting.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Sir Vince Tanyada, as one of the youngest in the business here for now?
Honestly, my opinion about BL is kind of academic because I master in Asian literature, and
Mm,
that is my pre-law. And as a literature major, my I know Yaoi as a literary form. Yaoi, which is the precursor to the BL, it originated in Japan, and
mm,
I have studied that as well. And it was actually well, it was written by women literary writers, specifically for women audience. So if you see BL in Thailand, 70% of the audience of a BL in Thailand are women, which isn't the case here in the Philippines because most of
mm,
our audience here are gays and bisexual male, and that is actually the problem because when I created, being that my basis is literature, I created specifically for not for the gays and the bisexuals, but for everyone, including straight women, and that actually is the problem now because we have seen a lot of BL series now in the Philippines, and most of the BL, to be frank with you, the most viewed are the ones with the sex scenes.
mhm,
So they are not after the story anymore. So that I guess is the problem. And the one I created, well, I'm still creating because I'm in the middle of a shoot now.
mm,
Is actually the selling point is not the sex scene. It's the story. In fact, I included the sex scene in the trailer, and a lot of people, most especially BL reactors, were telling me, that should be the culminating event. Please do not show that in the trailer because that is the highlight of the show. And I've been telling them no, because the highlight of the show is a story. And as a literature major, I don't know if I made a mistake. Well, I still have to find out later on if I will succeed with the views. But at the rate we are going, well, I've seen My Day, and I've seen a lot of BL. I'm sorry if I'm allowed to say the titles of these BLs, but
mm.
I guess I'm not the only one. But I've seen that a lot of views were actually the sex parts of the story, which is
Yeah.
I don't know
Mhm.
if I'm disappointed with that with the Filipinos, because that is not the way the Thai audience watch a BL.
Exactly. Exactly. I would have to agree with that. Also, um, maybe 50-50, because yes, if we look at Thai BLs, which I also did a research on, one of the uh, criteria, not necessarily criteria, but one of the basis of it to be very successful is that if it's fluffy enough, if it's a make believe world, and if you
Yes,
actually fall in love with the characters,
yes,
even if they're not that relatable. Now, also, one of the most successful BLs, if you will remember, is Together with Me,
yes,
with Max Tool, who is going to be in Manner of Death, Samon Sin's book. And one of the biggest factor that made them click was the very first episode wherein they had sex, and it was it was shot in a very non BL way,
mm,
and technically it's the start of a brand new growth in the BL genre as well, because after that we got Love by Chance, bathroom scenes, shower scenes, and now we have a lot of these sex scenes, including "Why Are You?" Where in the last few episodes, we're basically just titillating the audience, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
On this note, I specifically actually put uh, Sir Vincent De Jesus to answer the question last for this batch, because now his series is showing, and they did not basically have that much of a sex scene if we if we
Mm.
segue from that. But Sir Vincent De Jesus, what issues do you want, or how would this medium, especially with the last episode I just watched a few minutes ago, how would this medium help educate both the LGBT and the straight community?
Um, First of all, I started pretty late with the BL thing, the craze. My first BL, I think, was at heroin addicted,
Mhm.
and then I saw Love of Siam, that blockbuster hit, and people realized, hey, we can show a gay couple and earn money because it's important to, for the studio to earn so they can produce again. And after that, I it got me interested, and I saw Two Moons, the original, and then I went on. And then this pandemic, there was this sudden boom of BL, and so we got. I was invited by Asiris, primarily as an acting coach for the two boys, and then one thing led to another. And I saw the first wave from Game Boys to Hello Stranger, and so I thought, okay, the skillig, the what's skillig, the fluffy feel good thing. And knowing me, I'm not really known for my happy stories, so and and songs. So it was natural for me to go the other direction. And I don't know if I'm prude. I realized there are no sex scenes in this because they're basically young. Because
Mhm.
uh, what's nice about the all the shows running, which ran and running and about to run, to about to open, they're very varied because every
Mhm.
director, every filmmaker has their own, strengths and biases, if you call that. And so I suggested, why don't we go this direction? Because this has been done, this has been done, this has been done, this has been done. So it was a risky thing because I got, suddenly on episode 3 we turned dark. first,
Mhm.
first two
Yeah.
episodes,
Yeah.
and it's good. And because I'm also an educator and I grew up in the theater, and we're used to. I was trained to not only entertain, but if you can educate. So it's a wonderful medium, especially now online, because anyone can access it anytime, stream it, and there's nothing wrong with pure entertainment. But if you can, I think like somebody said, the genre is evolving, which is good.
Mhm.
Uh, for one genre to be stuck is, I think it's not a good thing. It
Correct.
really it goes against the whole concept of like you began with fantasy, selling fantasy. Now because normalizing things, it's a good thing. Love, no so gender, no race, no religion. And then you see the other end of the spectrum, which is dark. Not all stories end well. Sometimes some homophobia kills, and sometimes the most innocent of loves, like in our story, why why do these boys feel that they're doing is wrong? It's a
Mhm.
crime. When in fact they barely kiss each other, they only embrace, and it led to a very tragic ending because of the society. And and that's what so our story about is about basically homophobia, and it hurts most when it comes from the family
Yes.
because it's
Uh,
disguised as concern, but when in fact it's just ignorance, and you have the mother comes from a different generations. It's easy to say, why don't you open your eyes? But if you grew up in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, iba-ibang construct, your mindset is really different from the millennials and the Gen Zs. And I hope we're tackling it well. I hope we don't want to send the wrong message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to send the wrong message that,
Mhm.
but some stories are tragic.
Exactly. But even if a story is tragic, that does not mean that the story will end in a bad light, or it's not a happy ending. It could be tragic,
Yeah.
but a happy ending. I remember Romeo and Juliet, and you've been quoting Romeo and Juliet all throughout the last
I don't know
few
why.
episodes. That's why, probably because as a warning for those who can basically understand and get the point that yeah,
Yeah.
people will die here
Foreshadowing.
or something like that. Yeah, foreshadowing. By the way, Steve, if you can admit that we have Jamie Off, the writer of director Am's new series, also a Thai. She's also a writer, a novel writer, and also we have Vince Recafrente, the director of Lacan, the series, who's also one of the things I love about Filipino BL series, even if we started with Game Boys and all that. Hello Stranger, everything. Um, but now it has become so diverse that we have stories from the indigenous people, we have stories from um, lore and mythology. So, as I said, guys, I'd like to welcome Mr. Vince Cafrente. He is the director of Lacan, the series, a tale about the mystery or the mythology of the Philippines. Can you have a few words for us, Sir Vincent?
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Hi.
Hi,
Uh,
Vince.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you please, yeah, can you invite us to your series and tell us a few words?
First of all, I would like to thank everyone for this opportunity, especially Psycho Milk for inviting us to be part of this forum. And thank you for continue supporting our series. So this is the Lacan series. I am the writer and the director of the series. And we're just about to like a small production here in Nueva Ecija. I'm also a regional filmmaker here in Nueva Ecija. So basically, I'm just a newbie in terms of BL series, and so I don't have any idea what is going on. Like for example, like for some technical matters. So I'm sorry for all the delays that we have for our uploading and our technical matters, and I'm really uh, thankful for Cyclone for helping us for those um,
No
problems.
worries. You always have our back. We also have Miss Jamie. She is the writer of
Hi.
the new series from Director Am. If you want to promote your books, ma'am, and invite us to your future or upcoming project, please.
Hi. Hi, guys. My name is Jamie. I'm a BL writer as well. I live in London, UK, but all my books are in Thai. But they are also translated into 12 different languages.
Wow.
Um, and one of them is become a TV series, which is Secret Admirer the series. Is under processing now, and the final casting will be held in an event sometimes this month. Hopefully, by the end of the month, you can see all the cast. And the story is about a man who secretly loves someone. He is his neighbor and his senior in the university as well. So he been in love with him for like 5 years until finally they become together. So this is the one that is adapted into the TV series. One of them. Okay.
Wow. We are so excited about that. And the director is actually a friend of Psycho Milk. Our team is actually working with him for a long time now. So we're very excited about that. Since Sir
Thank you.
Vincent and Miss Jamie are here, and it's now time for me to ask them the question that you guys, the other directors and film movers,
Okay.
actually answered. So the first question is, how is boys love used as a medium to educate not only the straight community but even the members of the LGBT community? I'd like to ask with Miss Jamie first, please.
Okay. Well, I think that it is necessary to educate people about LGBTQ in general. Uh, Boy love has been here ever since, and it is being developed into something some people still hesitate to talk about. So we should let the world know that the LGBTQ community is here and it always will be.
Mhm.
Um, I think the community is also aware of boys' love, and the word about boy love should spread out to the community. And the problem is that most people think that same-sex couples do something wrong or that they are different in some way, and they should and well, I actually think we should prove to them that we are all the same. It doesn't matter which gender, you know.
Yeah, I love that line, and it says that you mentioned that in basically you mentioned that um, LGBTQ is present in all forms of community and
Mm-hmm.
time periods. So with that, I'll go to Sir Vince, who's actually working on the same thought, because his series is based on mythology, and he wanted to prove that there are LGBT couples within the barrio or the rural life here in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the tribes, despite the culture, and even before religion, probably. Sir Vincent, the other Vincent, Tricafrente, yeah, there.
I'm really confused. We have, I think, three
The
Vincent
other, the
here so
other, the
far.
other.
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so as I was saying a while ago regarding Lacan series, our series is all about the life in the province and including the tribe stories. This story originate 2 years ago, and I'm planning to have a film project, actually, not a series, for this story. So basically, I'm a regional filmmaker, so I research about matters in different areas here in the Philippines. So originally, I'm writing. I research and write this story for a festival story. It's a regional festival stories. So if you're familiar with some other festivals here in the Philippines, so I don't want to mention those festivals. But and then suddenly this pandemic happens, and I don't know what to do, and we don't have any idea what's the plan for this regional films. Are we gonna show this in theaters, or the festivals are still continuing their festival? So we have this theories. That's why I'm always saying that this is my first time to have this kind of medium for social media, and that's why some of the stories, or some of the lines, or the setting of this Lacan series is basically for uh, a festival setting. So, I mean, the film festival settings. So right now, yes, regarding the question, and I would like to tackle some of the issues, or not issues, stories inclined with the LGBT in the province, and or the do we have LGBT members in some tribes. So before I come up with this project, basically this is a very sensitive topic and a very sensitive story. That's why we have a like a research. That's why I always saying that this is I wrote this for like 2 years in the making, because it's really hard to come up with this kind of topic because it's very sensitive, and we all know that tribes are really respect them a lot because we owe them so much of our traditional things and cultures, and that's why I'm very care. Some of my scenes are like uh, really we had the research and careful for some scenes, and I realized, or I researched that there's some of the uh, members of the tribes are part of the LGBT. They're not just aware of the LGBT or the being an LGBT member, because um, some of the leaders, or I don't know, of the tribes or the people are not um, what I mean is they're not aware of that. If they're just come to the uh, urban urban areas like in the cities, they just know the LGBT is like this and like that. So that's why the character of Kaloy in my story is basically is not uh, focusing on the tribes area in the mountain. We try to have a part of the, actually it's not urban, it's a rural area, that for him to realize what is LGBT or what is like emotional attachment all about, if they're gonna face some other like other people na part of LGBT. So yeah, LGBT community in here in the province is a very, actually it's very not, I can say it's not active, but it's we have a lot of LGBT members here in the province, but it's different from the members from the cities, from the urbans, because we have their own conditions here. We have their own sense of humor here, unlike the other, like in the city, or as some of you noticed that I used LGBT members like Luningning and Bighani for this series, not just to portray a bad image of being LGBT, but this is from my research.
Mhm.
I had research about these characters, and there's some of the LGBT members are like this. So I don't like to be like um ignore them, or don't uh notice about these stories, because they're part of it. All I need to do is all we need to do is just to face and teach them how to be like be respect, and I mean teach them how to be respect, to be part of this LGBT. Some of you are very curious about this character, but I'm sorry to drag this character for this story, because I need to I need to use this character for all the audiences that we LGBT community needs much better respect and understanding, that we have a lot of like we are different, and we need to help each other, to educate some of our members, to educate and to face the other problems, and the other members here in the rural areas, to be like respectful and not to be part of the discriminating matters that happens in the LGBT community, and it's really hurts a lot because some of the issues in LGBT community are like discriminating each other. If you don't like the femme, or you don't like the showy LGBT, or I don't know, the transgender, the lesbian or what, if you don't like them, then just be respect. I mean, respect them for who they are, because we are one community, we are one family here. So that's the reason why some of my some of the part of the series or the episodes tackles about that matter. So I put the worst scenarios for these characters for the first episodes for you to realize that there's a lot of LGBT members like this here in the province.
Correct. That is true. Coming from a rural area as well. I grew up in a barrio as well,
Yeah.
but now it's in the city. There's a difference between the life there and the life here, and the humor and the culture. By the way, Sir Alam Ang, do you have any words, last words for us before you leave? Because I actually needs to run. Any upcoming projects, and when do we expect Hello Strangers, the movie? Sir Alan?
I don't know if I can say anything about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Any other projects?
sorry, but I have always been I've always worked on queer projects, not just
Yes.
BL.
Mm.
Ever since I started producing, I do am developing Peterson's full length his next full length film. Some nights I feel like walking. We had our short film just in Busan, and it's going to be part of the Singapore International Film Festival.
Congrats,
Oh,
congrats.
Thank you.
congratulations.
So
Full length
so
na.
all I want to say is I guess despite what other people would say or comment or whatever react, I mean just keep doing you. Like keep doing the content that you want to do, keep doing the the projects you want to do, whether it's the BL series, a queer film, you know, a trans story or whatever. Just do it regardless of what others will say. And I think that in itself is already empowering. It's empowering to us as creators. It's also empowering to the audience that we have, and it just shows that you know. And let's hope that more people will watch so that we can prove to the other producers or other financiers that there is an audience and there's a thirst for such projects. So anyway, I'm so sorry I mixed up. I thought it was 7 to 8.
That's
I
okay.
do have another I have another commitment. So I'm sorry I have to
Yeah.
go. But thank you everyone,
Yeah.
and good luck to I know how you feel, and I know na you probably won't be sleeping for until the duration till your series end. And then because that's how I felt in 8 weeks. So good luck everyone, and yeah. Bye
Bye,
bye.
Thank you very
Alan.
much,
Alam,
Sir
thank you.
Alam.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
Bye. Um, so that's Sir Alam Ang. He is a producer, and he has several works in, well, several projects in the works. Of course, we'll see more of that in the months or probably years to come. But congratulations to the short film which stars Elijah Canlas. We have more coming in a bit because director Easy Ferrer actually was stuck in traffic, and a few others. But for now, Nate, do you have anything to say about the question? How would, as a fan and as a part of Psycho Milk, how is Boys Love used as a medium to educate? Nate.
Okay. Wait lang. Nakaano kasi ako dun sa live stream. Okay.
Okay.
So, what's the question again? I forgot.
How is Boys Love used as a medium to educate? Not only the straight, but the LGBT community as well.
For me, it is to aware
Mhm.
on what is on how the society is. Siguro kasi um 2020 na nga eh, 'di ba? Sabi nga nila, sabi nga ng ilang mga series. And it is also said that we should um how can I say this ba? Wait. Let's say na ano ba to? Let's say that this time BL series is normal na. Siguro para lang sa akin pero o siguro nga normal na nga ngayon ang BL, and also educating the people who are watching. Hindi lang siya all about sa sex, hindi lang siya all about sa mga ganung mga bagay, but it is also learning how to love other your parang kumbaga as same as your gender, 'di ba? Just like 'di ba? So yun, that's my
Mhm.
point.
Okay. Before I turn you over to Miles, who's going to moderate the second question, I'd like to answer that
Okay.
question as well. Um, as a person who actually has been a fan of BL since I guess it was 2007 when I first watched Love of Siam, and I totally fell in love with Mario Morer. Anyway, but after that, there have been a lot of series that came out from Thailand, Lovesick, Make It Right, and all these things. Eventually, I've been talking to, since I also have a theater background, I've been talking to a lot of people. Why not make a BL series here in the Philippines? And the first thing that one of my dear friends, whom I met through my YouTube channel, I'm Mr. Director Peterson Vargas. He told me that I've always wanted to do a BL, except that maybe it's not the right time at that moment. That was 2 years ago, 2018. And then he was saying that he was supposed to be here, but in fact, he had a prior engagement. Anyway, he said that maybe the producers are not sure that we have an audience. But if you look at the Facebook pages of the series, the Thai series at the time, most of the members were Filipinos. And yes, BL has been here underground in the Philippines for so long that we all recognize the tropes, we all recognize the format, we all recognize the stories. Um, Maybe for me, the best takeaway that I got from BL as a medium was not only it started me on my journey in social media because watching that devastating ending for Love by Chance, episode 14, got me into translating Thai novels into English on my Wattpad channel. Also, it started my YouTube channel, and eventually my rants became opinion pieces in Psycho Milk. That's when I actually got to join the group back in May. I talked to Jed that month, and then we started opening this channel. And not only that, not only did it change me, got me opportunities, got me to talk to these wonderful people, got me to talk to Alam, got me to talk to these writers that I see just on the pages of Thai novels. I got to interact with them through social media, but as much as I want to erase to 2020 for the COVID 19, um, COVID actually gave the Philippines a chance to showcase what it can for the BL genre. And what we did was actually change the genre into something more than it was initially designed for, as a way to entertain, also as a fantasy for young women, and Miss Salmon actually said, it's a fantasy. It's a make believe. We're in it's a different world. We're in love with just no question if you're both men. But now Filipino BL are inserting that question. What if this is real life? And BL basically is teaching not only the straight community but also the LGBT community that there are a lot of spectrums from A to Z. I cannot understand all those.
Mm.
And BL, as we are doing it, uh, as Korea is starting to do it, as Japan is starting to do it, as Thailand is starting to grow and develop the genre as well with the other countries in the east in Southeast Asia. BL is becoming a platform and it's blurring the lines. That's what's important. It blurs the line between fantasy and blurs the line between the issues that we face as members of the LGBTQ community. That's my takeaway on this question. So, are there any feedback on what anyone said here before we actually go to the next question? Any other thoughts?
Basically, and not just the BL genre, or any genre, romance, comedy. After a while, if you keep doing the same scenarios, you run out of stories to tell, and
Correct.
some people say tropes get a very nasty reputation. But in a way,
Yeah.
but let's say I had this comment. Oh, here's a boy who meets this boy in school. There's strangers. Of course, there's strangers. I mean, you tropes are basically just for me. Tropes are
Mm.
basically just there to start the ball rolling, and it's up to the writer, the director, to spin that story around. Because I think every story has been told. It's the manner of telling the story that makes it different, I guess. Uh, when a couple LGBT or otherwise, they meet, it's either they end up together or they don't. They're only two things. Ending up together doesn't necessarily mean it's a happy ending. Who said Orson Welles said, if you want a happy ending, know where to stop the story. Because all stories,
Mhm.
if they meet, eventually they will a third party, that the same, because not just life. Life imitates art and art imitates life. So it's up to us. And we're actually very fortunate for I don't say that this COVID is a good thing, but something good came out of the when
Exactly.
all the directors, the creators, not only in the Philippines, were holed up in one place, we're dying to, let's come on, let's do something. And this is one thing that came out, especially with the Soji bill now that
Yeah.
Mhm.
we're fighting for the Soji bill. And I'm sure all shows may not be particularly advocating a certain issue, but together it is the whole
It is.
the ecology of stories.
Yes.
Together, it's a wave, and that alone is a statement that we have our stories. We have to tell our stories. We waited so long for this opportunity. Give
Yeah.
us this platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Vincent MEO. Okay, I'll call you now Vincent MEO, Vincent Lacan, and
Vincent
Vince
Lacan, Vincent
Love.
Yowa, Love.
Yes, correct. That's a very good suggestion from Lance earlier because
Yeah.
he even I actually was confused a bit. I will leave you with Miles for a few minutes because she will actually do the monitoring of our second question. Do you have the question, Miles, for them?
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so nervous. And I'm so
No.
envious because like here in Indonesia, we are still in the underground, like we have a lot of BL fans here in Indonesia. There's a lot of youngster here in Indonesia always request for Indonesian subtitle for every like BL series. So but the community itself like still underground. So I'm actually waiting for the moment for those people here in Indonesia to have that platform to showcase themselves, because like it's about time to do it. But yeah, we still have a lot of issue here in Indonesia, so I'm kind of envious because I really want to see BL series or LGBTQ plus series coming from my own country. We have some, but yeah, the reception from the society is like
Yeah.
it's not that easy. But I hope in the future we will have some series from Indonesia as well. So the second question is actually, in this time and age, why is it important for us to actually discuss about LGBTQ plus issues to the platform? Maybe I will go to first with Sir Vince. Why love why also now?
Hi guys. The problem actually uh, with Why Love Why, we are not actually discussing anything about the rights of the LGBT. It's not actually we're not raising any placards. We're not actually shouting for the rights, and I guess that is the problem, because I truly believe that um, we have won the battle already. Well, as far as Philippines is concerned, and it's just a simple and ordinary telling of a love story between two men, and it's not that complicated. Though our trailer is very complicated, we want that for promotion. But the story itself is not that complicated, and I am quite worried now, most especially seeing the more valid and important presentations that we have seen so far. They don't have that much views. For example, if I may, no, All My Sexual is very experimental and it's very theatrical, and we have like around 200, 300 views per episode, and I'm quite sad about that. But if you will see other BLs with lesser quality, if you will, they have lots of views. Well, I'm worried with that because I come from theater. Vince De Jesus and I were the way we present things. I don't know. It's very ordinary, but we really want to complicate things, so to speak. So that's our manner. So that's how we do it in theater. So I'm quite worried now with Why Love Why. So it's just a very ordinary story, but we want to present it in a different manner. Last night I was like watching this BL, Filipino BL, with a very almost X-rated sex scene, and
Oh.
they have like, yeah, they have like multitudes of views, and I was worried with that because of the manner they present it. Well, I suppose because I'm totally honest with everyone, and Vince knows this. I'm quite worried because the creator was also from theater, and I'm worried with the quality they the quality of the series, and the manner it was presented, and it garnered a lot of views. Now I'm worried with Why Love Why, because the sex scene will come up. I mean the sixth episode, the fifth episode of Why Love Why, and the entirety of the series from the first to the sixth episode. It's multi-character, it's multi-plot. We have hetero couple, we have politics, we have social realism, and I don't know if he will succeed with this. But in the same way, I just want to serve my art. Yeah, so it's up to the audience.
Thank you. I guess
Fingers
at the end
crossed.
of the day, like
Fingers.
you cannot please everyone. Like there's
Yeah.
people who actually wanting to see a lot of sex scenes, but there's also like actually BL viewers that really into the stories and the characters, and they
Yeah,
don't.
but
Yes.
yeah,
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 but
but here
if
in the
you,
Philippines, there are so
yeah,
few.
yeah, I guess,
You
I
can you
guess,
can even you can even ask Vincent Ricafrente. The second episode, was it the third episode, Vincent? With the partial nudity when the
Ah.
lead character was intoxicated, and
Oh, now I know the
it garnered a
episode.
lot. It garnered a lot of views. Compared to the first episode, which was so majestic and with the very beautiful sceneries. See, that's what
yeah.
I'm telling you guys.
But I guess it's
Now
it's
now we know what to do with MEO on our finale episode.
but I guess that's
To tell you
yeah.
honestly, I am actually reshooting some of my episodes, some of my scenes now. Yeah, that is really true. I want to sell because I don't want all my efforts to be put to nil. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm putting my heart and my passion to this, and I don't want a few hundred views for social realism and for politics and for historical fiction, etc. Come on, we are here not only to entertain. Yeah, that's right. We are here
Yeah.
to educate.
Right.
But are we ready?
Yeah, actually, that's also my question because like there's a lot of BL series with I may say that lower quality, but with a lot of sex scenes and touching scenes that's got a lot of views. But there's actually a lot of BL series with good stories, good characters, but less sex scenes and kissing, and people seems to reluctant to watch that kind of series. Like, so I really want to know what is your thought about this, Saman, because your books, most of your books, the sex scenes is not like that how I may say it, you wrote sex scenes, but only like they have sex, like that's it, without any details about it. And I saw like a lot of comments about your books, like they are wanting to see more details on it, but you stick to your plan, I guess, to make it just, yeah, they have sex because that's what couple do. They have sex. You don't have to have too much detail about it. What your thought about this?
I think it's kind of like my signature, not to be in detail of their sex scene or something like that. I try to make something new here. I try to make BL not for only sex scene, but also for the character and also the interesting story. As I work, I have a medical background. I am a doctor as well, so I try to use my experience as a doctor and make a story out of it, so to make it more interesting. So I think we can find like the way to express this story, like we can use sex scene if it is reasonable, like if it is one of the development of this couple. Yes, it is, it can, we can look into detail of it. You know what I mean? It's like it's okay to have a sex scene. I also read sex scene. I also like read a lot of Japanese manga that has a lot of intimate sex scenes, something like that, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, I think it's no right or wrong about this. Uh-huh. And yeah, that's my opinion.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay.
And we would like to welcome how to pronounce your name. I hope it's not Dennis. Is it
Denise.
right? Dennis?
Hi, good evening
Denise.
Hi,
everyone.
good evening,
Hello.
Dennis.
Magandang gabi po.
Congratulations.
Hi.
Magandang gabi. Thank you for having
Welcome.
me. Hello
Hello, welcome.
everyone.
Voice
It's
Congratulations
so
lockdown in
for
the
the
good to
premiere
see
of
you.
the
Um,
fourth
Hello
episode.
po.
Hello
Denise
po.
is the writer of, or the author of, the
Voice
writer
lockdown.
of Boys
lockdown.
Lockdown. And
Apo. Hello po. Good to
so,
meet you.
Do you
Magkasunod
want to
kami.
promote the series
Oo.
and tell us more about it?
Tragic
Other
Tooth
future
Light and
projects.
Bubbly.
It's a good combo though, actually. Yours, Neo, and Voice Lockdown, it's a good combo.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
better
so
watch Boys
thank you po sa
Lockdown, Elser
support.
and Neo.
Yep.
Thank you sa support. I'm so happy that you invited me, and I'm so happy to be a part of the BL community, the burgeoning BL community in the Philippines. We're going strong. I'm so happy to see all this queer content that's coming out this year. Panalo talaga ang mga bakla this year. So,
Boy, ang mga bakla!
yay! Ayun. So, I don't know what you want to hear about Boys Lockdown, but the fourth episode just finished airing tonight on YouTube. And we're very happy yung how warm it's being accepted among our viewers, our intended audience. Salamat po sa pagtanggap talaga. It's very overwhelming, especially from a relative newcomer, a relative new screenwriter, and full disclosure, I am cishet. So, ang warm ng feeling ko na tinanggap yung story for this audience, and I was worried actually initially when I was invited to write Boys Lockdown kasi parang I feel like coming into it I have so much privilege to write this story. What right do I have to tell this story? It's not mine, but I feel like I had something to say and contribute in terms of giving a happy ever after or a happy for now story for the LGBT audience. So, and I'm so thankful na tinanggap siya ng ganito. So, it's very overwhelming. Every week na lang there's an outpouring of support, and it's so nice to feel. So, thank you.
There's nothing not to love about Boys Lockdown. It's so
Oh,
lovely.
you're so kind. Thank you for the kind
You
words.
also have Denise. You also have sisters here. Miss Jamie and Miss Salmon are also romance
Hi.
writers. They are
Hello.
authors of books, romance books, specifically on BL in Thailand.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Yeah.
meet you too.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, Miles.
Thank you.
Who answers the question next?
I think I want to hear from Sir Vincent by Extraordinary, because you don't have sex scenes, I guess, in by Extraordinary. Almost maybe because of the I think the fifth episode is almost if the mother didn't call them. Maybe. So what your thought about this, sir?
I don't know. I'm not really a prude person, but it ended up well basically because the backbone of the story is about discovering emotions as young men, early 20s, teenagers, discovering who they are and reacting on it immediately without even questioning. Some people said it's too quick. It's been 2 weeks and they're very close, but sometimes it happens that way. And genuinely, they didn't put a label on it because they didn't know exactly what in episode 4, in episode 5, they asked, what are we doing? But it feels good. So it was innocent love until the mother and the friend, people they love most. And sometimes it's a cruel world. Born out of concern, probably. Someone said homophobia is hiding behind the mask of concern, but basically it's just evil. And everything went wrong in a snap. Boys panicked because some people, you have to understand, they're young people. The character Sandy snitched on them because she's young. She's in love, and I'm not saying all young people react that way. Their identities aren't complete yet. They're discovering who they are. And sometimes even adults aren't complete yet. So what more? So they're just basically reacting. It's a knee-jerk reaction. I feel for someone, and that's why I think there was no need for explicit lovemaking because there was one scene they were talking about doing it. They didn't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm nervous. Why am I shaking? I'm afraid. Went under the covers, and then the phone calls. The phone call happens. This is basically it. I mean, draw them in and then drop them. So, it's fun to write. It's I don't really enjoy writing, making people sad, but it's as a writer, as an exercise of writing and complicating a seeming not complicate, embellishing a simple story is a fun, and most writers would probably agree with me. It's a fun exercise to do and how to retell a story. Basically, it's Romeo and Juliet, but how do you tell this story again? It's Romeo and Romeo.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. And I want to go to Sir Carlo. In this time and age, why do you think it's important for us to talk about this issue, LGBTQ plus issue, representation or such things in this platform?
This platform is the best platform that we have ever since, because it's the best timing as well, because we are all in quarantine, and we all have access to the online platform. And that's also one of the things that encouraged me to actually try out making online content, because like as I've mentioned earlier, I come from the independent cinema, which are all closed right now. So we kind of like have to find other medium to express, to say our message, and it's online that we actually ran to. So yeah, it's very important that we have this platform, and it's very important to tell stories like this right now, because um, you can get people's attention. And in the case of my series, Better Days, was also developed during the quarantine, where the time is like really depressing. It's so sad, and we are all confused. So when my producer asked me to ask me if we wanted to make BL series, I said yes. Not only because it's BL and we're educating the community about LGBTQ. We also wanted to make something inspirational. So like the sentiment of Direct Vincent, it's not exactly like the kind of series that we knew everybody, like most people would watch. But it's kind of a gamble as well, because Direct Vince, we also don't have sex scenes, and our actors are also young. We just focus on our intention that we wanted something inspirational, considering the dark hours that we have right now. So we just want to inspire everybody, and to just make people feel that there are better days coming after all this. So we also kind of use the platform of BL not only to educate, gender equality or things like that, but hey, it's not an issue for me anymore. We are just the same. We just need to inspire. We fall in love, and let them love. Let the person fall in love. And that's one thing that we also made clear when we started to make BL. And it's up to the audience if they wanted to listen or to watch a story that doesn't have any sex scene. But for us, as long as there are people watching it and people get inspired, and we see that the fruit of our intention, that's a very big thing already for us. And it's very important. And it's also very important to I would like to thank our actors here, because we get to the reactions. We get to understand because BL is still relatively young, a very young genre. And also we didn't know the market. We didn't know the movement. We didn't really exactly understand who's going to watch this or who's going to watch that, and like that. But it's that's why it was a gamble. We just wanted to make something inspirational that doesn't have sex scenes. Are people going to watch it? We didn't know that, and we get to have a glimpse of the market responses from the reactors. So it's really a big thing. So we're still trying to figure it out, and we're still trying to understand the medium itself, and as well as the market, how to how to like reconcile what they want, what we want to say. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think we are getting good signs, and someday we'll be able to achieve more things on our advocacies and education, things like that. So I'm sorry to say, but I also have to leave
It's okay.
right
Thank you
now.
so much, though, for joining us tonight. So,
Thank you so much for inviting me,
Good
and
night.
yeah, I'd like to invite everyone. It's still airing our series Better Days. Will be on our third episode this Friday, and thank you so much for all of you. Thank you so much for support for the support for supporting the community, and I hope we all grow in this together, and we're gonna go fight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sir Carlo.
thank you so much. Don't
Thank you so
forget to
much,
watch
Thank you
Better
so much for
Days
everybody.
dropping
every
by.
Friday.
Good
Thank you.
luck.
Every Friday
Miles,
8:30. Yeah. Thank you.
Congrats,
Miles.
Direct.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, I also said that I will just drop by, but the discussion is very interesting. That's why I stayed a little longer. But we're in the middle of the shoot, so I have to
Oh,
say goodbye as well.
Oh,
Oh,
But
but
my
oh,
but
good
yeah,
luck. Good luck.
my two cast members would like to say hello.
Hello.
These are
oh
my two lead
hi.
Oh,
players. Yes,
we're going to
John
meet
Ray.
Hello.
again.
Oh,
Yes, John Ray and Carl. Yeah.
Hello.
So
Oh, good luck for the
hello.
shooting.
yes. Good luck.
Hello.
Thank you. Tukayo. Bye bye.
See you on
Bye.
Bye.
Tuesday.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
See you on
Bye. Bye,
Tuesday.
guys.
Tokayo. Dalawa
We
ka.
will.
Bye.
Yes, we will. Kayo mag-promote. We will.
We are inviting you all po sa Wild of Void the series this coming November 14 po ang pilot episode namin. And 8 p.m. po. So magbubukas po kami. Sana po samahan niyo po kami at abangan niyo rin po kami. Support lang po ang Filipino BL natin. Yun.
Yes,
Good
guys.
luck, boys.
Bye. Thank you
Bye.
so much and good luck for the shooting. Okay, so let's go to Jamie. What your thoughts about this topic, and actually, what gets you into writing BL?
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry. Well, I actually really want to write about a book about life in UK. I started to write already actually, but one of my friends told me that no one will read your bio book. You should write BL. So that's how it started. So the first book I ever wrote is Naked London. It's about 50% talk about the life people who live in London. Because if you don't live there, you really there are some things or so many things that you will never know if you don't live there. So in that book is a boiler book. It's romantic, but also you will know a lot about life in London and in few countries in Europe, because since I live here for 17 years, since the time that I came here to study, so after I graduated and then I'm working and now I have family here. So, it's such a long journey and I've been traveling and everything. So I put many, I think around 50% of my life experiences in my book, and almost all of my piece of work, like my writings, my novels, you have the feeling of life experience. Even my latest novel, Love Letters, you can feel that there are a lot of life experience of myself in there.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer.
My
So
pleasure.
you've been
I'm
living
sorry.
in UK for 17 years? Oh, that's quite
Yes.
long. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a very long time.
Yeah. And I won't go to Dennis. Because Boys Lockdown, what I like about Boys Lockdown is the conversation between Arthur Levy and also Jen. It's like It's like very natural, like Atalibi doesn't have question like, Chen, why do you love boys? Like she doesn't even
Yeah.
ask that kind of things. Like
Mm,
it feels like it's normal, just like Chen falling in love with another person. That's it. So what
right.
actually what do you want to what's your message for the viewers when you
Mm.
are at Voice Lockdown?
Um, Thank you for pointing out that in our world, in the boys lockdown universe, a healthy relationship is a healthy relationship, regardless of what gender the people in the relationship are. So that was actually a conscious decision on our end as creators that there would be no coming out, there would be no tears with regard to self identity and expression. They are who they are, they love who they love. A healthy relationship is a healthy relationship, regardless of who is in the relationship. So that's really what we wanted to show in the series. Um, Actually, part of the motivation for creating this is spite because you don't really see these types of relationships portrayed this way in mainstream media. There's always some sort of drama or some sort of problematic or toxic characteristic or aspect explored. And we really wanted to veer away from that because, um, yes, there are toxic relationships, but there are also healthy relationships, and those should be celebrated. Those should be what we see, that it should be part of what we consume, because I really think that there's a connection between what we consume and how we come to expect to be treated in real life. So if we see more of the healthy relationships in the movies that we see, the TV shows that we consume, parang we know what that looks like already, and I think that's something to fight for, diba? So yeah, and for me, um, it's part of what I feel makes Boys Lockdown subversive is we choose to show you what a healthy relationship looks like. So it's that simple.
Thank you for the answer. And for Direct Vincent Lakan, I want to know because like your story is maybe quote unquote a bit more complicated with the tribe and those kind of things. So um, is there any specific concern or issue that you really want to highlight in your Aris Lakan?
I'm sorry, I have a delays in signal. Like,
Okay, so is there any specific issue or concerns that you really want to highlight on your series? Hello, can you
yes,
hear me?
yes. Actually, I can't hear the mean. I don't understand the question. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So I want to know if there's any specific issue or special concern that you want to raise on your series, Lakat.
Okay. Basically, our setting is in the province of the Philippines. So we're in Nueva Ecija. So it's in central Luzon. And right now, the issues or the problems that we're facing right now is basically that we're all facing it right now is a typhoon that we we experience a lot of problems and we hazards such as like the landslide in the mountains as you can see in our setting in Lacan series. It's more of the nature, the mountains, the rivers. So right now, honestly speaking, we have a problem in terms of um shooting and some other scenes because of the typhoon, because the mountains that we 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 choose shoot to shoot in our locations having a problem because of the landslide. Actually, our main location for the series had experienced landslide and a flood. So right now we don't have any shooting because it's ruin everything. Like our set, the tribe set, it's all gone. So right now, that's the main problem. But basically, in our episodes, we that's our problem. It's behind the series. So we don't actually. I don't like to discuss this matters because our viewers is they just want to watch the story and to have experience touring in our setting or in a province. That's why I don't want to elaborate more about what happened in our behind the scenes. And all we want to do is just to share the story. All we want to do is to experience the life here in the province. And basically, this story is a very realistic story for me because basically I'm from Metro Manila, and I was locked down here for almost a month, and until now I'm still here, and I don't know how to go here in Metro Manila because um so I I I have this series and shoot this here in the province so that we have a activity that to be like here in our area. Basically, issues in terms of LGBTs. For this topic is very it's really difficult to understand why we have this kind of story or series. Why some of the people are asking me, Vince, why are you sharing this story about tribes? Why you're sharing this about the rural story? Mm, for us, regional filmmakers or researchers, basically we just want to share a story that we explore in a certain province or a certain area here in the Philippines. That's why I want to share this experience because this is the realistic way that I personally encountered the province. That's why I want to share this through this platform or this series so that people know that we have existing LGBT members and activities here in the province that you need to maybe you don't understand or you don't appreciate it, some of the characters or some of the situation, but this is the real ones. This is the realistic activity that uh, we have we have here in the province because I'm also a provinciano. We call it provinciano, and I know that this kind of setting, this kind of LGBT members that we showed for this Lakan series is the real one. It's not a fictional. It's not just want to play with the characters or what. No, this is the real characters. This is the true story that I experienced because some parts of this Lakan series is my experience and I just want to share it. Some of the people in the metro and some other countries won't experience this, but I experienced a lot of scenarios because I'm part of LGBT and some of my stories is in a plot I choose to be in a realistic way. So issues basically I don't have any issues regarding facing all the issues behind the scenes basically. And I just want to clarify things about our upload or about our and basically before I don't watch and I have never experienced to watch BL series. And the question is why I'm being part of the series community right now. The answer is I just want to share a story. I just share our locations. And basically, I don't want any competition for this. I don't want any, what do you call it, choosing or anything that, um, issues in the VL community. You know that. But basically, I don't want a competition for this. And I'm not into that with one community stories or this content. So and this platform to be recognized and also appreciate that we have this kind of stories. And again, thank you for this opportunity and to meet BL creators here. And this is my first time to face actually some of you because I'm not basically familiar at the BL series. Right now, maybe I'm gonna watch some of the BL series. The reason why I'm doing this not just I mean not to you doing this because I don't want to be like an adaptation or anything or you know if you watch other series maybe um I'm gonna put some scenes like this because
Yeah.
some other series are like this. So I don't want to be like that. I don't.
You actually there's actually a tendency if you watch other series for research or whatnot, there are tendencies that some of of their scenes will subconsciously be added into your script. I get what you mean because as much as I write too, so understand the process. So even if we do not intend to, sometimes there are instances that subconsciously we do add parts of some series that we like into what we are writing. So Miles, thank you very much, Sir Vince of Lacan. We'll get to the next question later on. Miles, um who else do we have? I guess we have Shaki and Lance,
Yes.
and then yeah, go ahead. Um, I think we start with Lance first. What issues in this day, in this time and age, why is it important for these issues to be discussed in this platform?
Yeah, I think we should utilize the power of the virtual world created or the new ecosystem that we have created as a BL community as well. Because I mean, your creations are now seen from Alaska to New Zealand. That's how broad
Mhm.
YouTube has brought everything in this virtual ecosystem now. So bear in mind that you might have bashers, that you writers may have, or directors, or the people in the production may have bashers. But we, as your fans, or as the people who watch the BL, have grown and evolved as well together with the BL community. So we, I think one of the message I would say as an issue for on our side would be we would like constant communication. This is a new generation of communication now. Na we would like to get like tidbits of who these people are. Why is there going to be a delay? And it should be done in a strategic way or in a very polite, respectful manner, in a way that we would get
Mhm.
it siguro a day before, 2 days before. And I think and I was thankful for Vincent before to post this before. I saw it in his tweet na saying na, sorry, we will be delayed in Gagaulala or something. So that's a really good touch on that part. And I'm a big fan of all of you guys, to be honest. Like Vincent for the story of Juliet and Romeo. I got the feedback. I got that three sword immediately.
Mhm.
So that took me there. For Lacan, I love the tribal music. I love that influence because I'm an indigenous myself. So you're telling my story right now. So it hits straight to my heart, especially on that aspect. For Denise, the Kilig, it reminded me on the way to writing an anime. So it has the same color and the same treatment. It has that same jolly, light feel. And for Manner of Death, I'm waiting anxiously because I'm a big fan of Max Tool. And for
Correct.
Jamie, I wish I could read your books. So I've mentioned a lot. But for us as a review, as people that review all of these media, would like to see, I think, mostly if we can relate, or I'd use an acronym that we use in our series, our talks. SMIRC. We're looking for story, music, impact, relevance, and kilig. So I think that's the 5 aspects that we're looking for. Story, in a way, is the sex scene justifiable? Is the foreshadowing with the foreshadowing or that drama makes sense? Something like that. Because we've been asking and throwing questions like, would you accept a friendship end? Would you accept a sad end? But if it makes sense, we will accept it. And music, I mean, I think you could see how music plays in well in theater. You could see how the music would tell a story of a BL. And whenever I hear suspended in midair, I would immediately see that wishing 3 spout out in my mind. So that's the power of music. And for Lacan, if ever I hear that tribal beat, I would see the views, I would see the waterfalls. So that's the power of setting the good tone and the good music. Impact would be, what's the message that you guys want to relay? What's your intention? What's the drive of making this story? Because we're also checking on that as well. Like, are you doing this for entertainment value? Are you doing this to send us a message? Are you doing this for as a story that I just simply want to tell? And we are a woke society already. We're smart viewers already. So we want to see that. And I think in this day and age, like for Impact, we're branching on or leeching onto the tropes and discussions that you've left, all the crumbs that you have left, and we're putting that or spinning it into how does this related to our life? How is this Soji related? And hence that's why we have a Soji session at 10 p.m. later at Bruja Squad, because of the various tropes, the various impacts, the various topics, relevance shown into this in the BL series. It gave us a pathway to do that. And I think the fourth is going to be our relevance. How does it relate to all of us as a people, as an LGBT community? How it relates to love is being love. And the last is the kilig. I think that's the biggest selling factor for everyone. The kilig part na I think boys love for doing that after Mayo going to kilig. My God, I really love that tandem though. So for us, we all want that kilig. So those are the issues or the points we look at. So it's story, music, impact, relevance, and kilig. If all of those are weighed in, and all the issues that are part of those parts are weighed in and make sense, we would not have an issue at all. But to each his own. And I think what E.C. Ferrer said in one interview before, that we should keep on writing and writing and writing until we blur the lines, until all the stories come up, until all the stories will emerge eventually. That there is no need to differentiate us from being boys love, but just love.
Exactly. I love that. I love that line. That there should come a time wherein boys love is not boys love anymore, but just love. I also I'd like to welcome Jevan Tamang. He's also part of Psycho Milk. He's from Nepal, I believe.
Hello,
I don't.
everyone.
Hi. Can you please say a few words? Welcome everybody. As this is actually the first time he's going live as Psycho Milk, as part of the Psycho Milk team.
Okay, so are you telling me to introduce myself or?
Yes, please. Introduce yourself, your channel, or what you have been doing, and just invite everybody. These are filmmakers or the people behind the series that you actually react to.
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Jivan. I don't know if like most of you know me, but I guess some of you do. So I am a reactor on YouTube, and I guess I started out when quarantine happened, and like from one thing to another, I stumbled upon BL shows, especially from the Game Boys. And after that, we got this huge round of BL, so especially Pinoy BLs. And right now my most of the content is about BL. So yeah, right now I'm just like all over BL right now. And yeah, that's about it about my introduction. I don't know what to say.
Let's hear his thoughts later on, but for now, I'd like to hear Shaki's thoughts on the question is in this time of age. Why is it important for these issues to be discussed in this platform?
I think everybody kind of hit it on the nose. I think when it comes to what if this is the right way to do it or not. I think it is, given our history, really. like I said earlier, we don't really get a lot of representation in the LGBT community. So the fact that there are shows that are putting it out there, just doing it is amazing. Especially on like a platform like YouTube, especially being that everyone and their mama's on YouTube, right? It's a lot easier to consume. And also now there are shows that are on streaming services, so where people can have access to them to consume that. I think it's amazing, actually. So it's a good way to go about it, especially as a reactor, being able to react to the shows and let people know that hey, this is a great show, this is fine, it's a pretty normal thing, you should get into it. It's great. But of course, you're going to encounter those that don't like it. But at the end of the day, you're basically just showcasing just from the opposite side, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So to answer the question, I think it is brilliant that there's a lot of BL series that are out right now, and they're continuing to question certain tropes and putting it in our faces that this is what really happens and stuff like that. Even though some of them are kind of toxic, but it's still something that really happens out here. So hopefully that answers that question.
Yeah. I do believe that there are certain tropes that probably are remnants of when the genre was actually starting out. But I believe that, as we mentioned in the previous question, um, it is growing. The genre is growing. It is changing, and
It
with
is.
the with the introduction of how Filipinos, Koreans who started also this year, um it's getting to be broad, it's getting to be more diverse, and it's hitting on notes that people are not used to question before. I'd like to hear from Denise. As a writer, you are writing romance novels. How's
Yes.
the shift
Oh,
from writing straight novels into basically doing boys love in this day and age, and how are the issues being introduced?
okay. So I should as a backgrounder, my writing
Mm-hmm.
background, I am a romance novelist. I am part of a community of writers in the Philippines called Romance Class. So we are a group
Mm-hmm.
of writers, authors, readers, and performers who write in English, Filipino romance authors who write in English. So my background as a romance author was really the foundations of my being a romance writer was formed in that group. So I would love to take the opportunity to thank this group for being created and being founded, because um, it's where I it's where I learned that in romance, a happy ever after or a happy for now is a requirement. So it's not a
Mm-hmm.
spoiler. When you market something as a romance, there comes with it an expectation of a happy ending, of a happy ever after. You expect your two protagonists to come together in the end. You don't say it's a romance and then leave it open ended. It's not done. So
Mm-hmm.
that was the first thing that was instilled to me as a romance writer. If you market it as a romance, your characters have to have that happy ending. So um, that's number one. Second, representation matters. So earlier, a lot of the other creators were already touching upon this, especially in the community. And it's one of the most important things that came out of the local boys love boom is
Mm-hmm.
representation, because we really don't see that in mainstream media. Usually
Yes.
we see like maraming bakla in mainstream media, but we already know how these characters are portrayed. So now that we're on the digital format, we're on YouTube, we have the power to flip that script. We have the power to tell your stories. We have creators from the LGBT community who who are using their own voices now to tell their stories and represent themselves in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, it's not that big of a shift as a romance writer to get into BL, because in romance we also, it's not just straight love stories eh. So in Romance Landia, there's male female romances, there's also male romances, there's also sapphic romances. So all of these love stories, these romances, what they have in common is that happy ending factor. I would encourage you to seek out all these wonderful Filipino authors who are writing romance now, because ang daming stories of male, of sapphic FF that are emerging right now. You just have to look for them. So for me, it wasn't that big of a shift to write conventional male-female romance and BL. In fact, before writing Boys Lockdown, I came up with, I was part of an anthology called Start Here. It was a project of romance class also. So that was an anthology of male, female, and non-binary female love stories, all with a happy ending. So that's one of the things I'm proud of that I was a part of before coming into Boys Lockdown. So if you have the time, I encourage you to seek that out. If you like the show, if you like BL with a happy ending, look for Start Here. You can read more stories that are male, female, non-binary stories in that book. So, yun. For me, it wasn't that big of a shift. The format took a little bit of getting used to, kasi I'm used to writing for, when you read a novel, it's quite different to put yourself in a visual frame of mind. Siguro yun. Jade Castro, our director, and the producers, Ticket to Me, kind of helped me get into that mindset of this is a visual medium. You know, para I'm used to things being a little wordy kasi you're reading a novel and it's quite different when you're trying to imagine it on screen. So for me, I think that was the biggest adjustment, is to get back into that screenwriter frame of mind.
Okay. There you go. That is from a writer's point of view. I'd like to ask Samon, how did you actually start writing BL in the first place?
I know BL since I was in high school. At that time, as I mentioned before, it's still underground, and most of the BL came from Japan, and the fan fiction of like Korean singer or something like that. So I started with that. I read it, and then I think that maybe sometime if I have a chance, I also want to produce a BL on my own. But as I said before, it's a fantasy. Even though it's BL, but I also misunderstanding a lot of things in that. For example, the binary concept in BL is very strong. Like one have to be feminine, one have to be more masculine, and something like that. So I learned later, if I am not a medical doctor myself, I may not never know about the gender fluidity here. There is a spectrum, not only like female kind or a male kind. There is something in between, and everybody can be in that in between. So I misunderstand a lot of concept in that, and after I grown up, I know a lot of things. I want to create my own story that which tell my perspective now on BL. So that's why I started to write, and I also want to send the message not only for BL community or for LGBT community, but also a message about in medical field, something like sex education, and also I want to make people recognize more about LGBT community, because in Thailand now same-sex marriage is still illegal, and Thai people still discriminate against gay people. So I want to do something that to make people more recognized and to make people realize how important to know to legalize same-sex marriage, something like that. So I want to send these messages in my work. So that's why I started to write BL.
That's great because your story is actually one of the things that we have been waiting for. It's highly anticipated. And then uh, I know there's a lot, being a Wattpad ambassador, I actually have seen a lot of and tagged a lot of illegal translations of your work on Wattpad. One of my work as a copyright checker or data officer or ambassador of Wattpad is to check on that. And I've seen a lot of illegal English translations of Manner of Death on Wattpad. For now, they're actually out of the picture anyway. So thank you very much. And then, Miss Salmon, because one of your works is now about to be seen as live action and with one of the pairs or ships that we have all been raving about. I'm a huge fan of Max Tool as well. So we will be waiting on that. But before we actually move forward, I'd like to say, give a few minutes to Lance to say a few words because he actually needs to prepare for a live stream on their channel as well. Kindly invite everyone, Lance.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I thank you everyone for sharing your thoughts and hope to see you all soon in this virtual world. And we have a live stream later at 10 p.m., which is called Speak Room. It's the Skinny on Soji, wherein we would discuss the sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression with Thais Estrada, the trustee of Metro Manila Pride. So I hope to see you all there at 10, and good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Lance, for coming.
Night.
It was nice seeing you, Lance.
Hi.
I seeing you too. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I'm sure a lot of our guests that's supposed to be come here now were stuck on traffic or basically because tonight is a Sunday. There are a lot of things to react to, things to do, and a lot of filmmakers are still on location and shoots. So before we go to the last question, I'd like to give Jivan time to actually answer the question as well as a reactor and as part of Psychomilk. So, Jivan, in this time and age, why do you think is it important for these issues to be discussed in the digital platform?
I guess all of the shows, the awareness thing that really comes in us is because of the education. Okay, so the thing that is aside from the education, I feel is movies. Okay, movies presents us different kind of ideas and situation that that we learn. We learn a lot of things from movies and shows, especially now the OTT platforms are increasing rapidly. And to show the problems in OTT platforms, digital platforms, as you said, is I guess very important because as much as I've seen from the country that I belong, it's very necessary that we have more awareness about LGBTQ issues because we don't, as much as I've seen, if I'm talking about my country, people don't even know how to differentiate between gay and transgender. They just term both of them as the same one, which is really sad because it's such basic things, and that is a very basic thing. Inside the sexuality thing, there are much more complex thing, which I feel even the people in the community do not know. So when such kind of issues, such kind of problems are displayed on shows like this, I think people learn. So at the same, as much as people learn so much from OTT digital platforms, I guess it's very important that sometimes they need to be sensitive when they are dealing with sensitive issues like this. I've seen a lot of things that I do not agree, especially in Thai BLs. I've watched a lot of BLs this year, so there are a lot of things that I do not agree to because it kind of creates a misconception. But at the same time, the shows that we've been seeing in the past year, especially Pinoy BLs, I guess it has increased a lot of awareness about people, about sexual orientation, about how people react, and has broken a lot of stereotypes. And not just for people in the community, for the straight people as well who watch the show. So I feel, yeah, it is important, very important to show these issues in the show. Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very
what I
much.
feel.
Thank you very much, Jivan. Jivan
I
is
hope
actually
I hope I didn't speak way too fast because a lot of people complain that it is my problem. So I really hope that you guys understood what I said.
we
Yeah,
did.
you got your double
Actually, I
break.
tend to speak. We tend to speak. I tend to speak too fast too. That's why I'm actually toning down the pace of my speech. But you got the message across perfectly. Jivan is one of the young reactors that we've been seeing now, and we actually I requested Krishna, our content manager, to get him as well as part of the YouTube team of Psycho Milk because his thoughts and reactions are always on point. So I believe that's one of the thoughts of the youth of today, not only as an Asian but also as a youth, as the member of this generation. Before we move on to the last question, which actually will be our finale question, we will just be given 1 minute per for us to actually wrap up with the last question because actually it's technically a farewell question, a segue for us to say goodbye and probably meet up later on. I'd like to hear the thoughts of my contributors from Psychomilk, Miles and Nate. I'd like to start with Miles, please.
For the same question, right?
Yes.
Well, actually, I think it's about time for us to actually talk about this kind of issue because, like, I guess it's the time for us to finally open our mind that this is actually happening in our real life, and you have to deal with it. And it's actually a good platform to educate people like me who is not part of the community but want to support the community, so we have a better understanding about people who is actually in the community, about their story and the way to support them, to fully support them, to become a better alive for the people. We also need to have educate ourselves, and a media like movies, like series, stories is actually the best media that we can use to educate people, because through stories I think people could reflect back on their experiences. Like when I watch BL series, although the characters, although I don't have the same experience as the characters, but I actually can reflect back also in my experiences. So it's the magic, I think, that even though we have the different experiences, but through stories we can actually better understand people, better understand about issues. So stories, series, movies, art is actually, I guess, the best platform to educate people instead of like giving them like a curriculum in education is also important, but I think stories have a better way to actually educate and invite people to become more supportive alive, people like me. And this platform for the LGBTQ plus community is actually the place to express themselves, to feel that they are heard, that and they are represented in this world. So I guess it's actually the best way to help a lot of people, not only people who are in the LGBTQ plus community, but all people, I guess, in this world. Because through the series and movies and everything art, we can start a discussion after that. and that's,
Mhm.
I think, the best part. We can
Correct.
start a discussion, and then we can, when we start a discussion, we may agree, we may disagree, but we talk about it instead of like only how can I say it? Instead of we think that it's not exist, but we
Correct.
talk about it. So I guess that's the best part about it.
Correct. Nate, Nate,
So
your
to wrap
thoughts
up
on
this, okay, let me do it.
yes, yeah.
Okay, so to wrap up this second question, um, the the wait, the possible solution for those issues like the issues that like homophobic, that like what are those issues nga ba yung mga yung mga like homophobic, it is to accept, it is for it is a, it is for to be an eye opener, and also for being um for me kasi it is good to open the mindset of the people, to mindset the I mean to open the mindset of the viewers, because some viewers will not accept, some viewers will bash the series, and some viewers will not um will find the better answer for their minds, for their questions in their mind. So that is for me, that will um that will, how can I say this again? I am I am processing in my mind. But yeah, that is what is for me this second question is wrapping all
Mhm.
about.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nate. I believe everyone has answered the second question. I'll start with my thoughts on the third question, which is, do you think so far is the medium effective in addressing the issues, especially of the younger generation? Going back to Jivan's answer, um, him being the youngest here, I think yes, we are educating everybody, not probably not in the way that we thought, or probably not in the way that we want, but we are changing the world. We're changing everyone bit by bit because as somebody mentioned earlier that we are blurring the lines, we are normalizing everything. But I would also like to go back to that quote that eventually it will be a perfect society if it's no longer boys love but just love. So I think
Mhm.
yes, we are effective. Boys love is effective because I know friends who are straight and watch boys love, and they have the same fluffy feeling. It's also the same in the Philippines. It's also the same kilig factor. Because ultimately, if you just immerse yourself into the story, it's no longer about a boy meeting a boy and falling in love. It's about two people merging as one soul and one heart. So that's
Exactly.
my answer to that question. I would like to get the thoughts of everyone before we actually say goodbye, because we might not have noticed we've been here for 2 hours, and unfortunately, some of our other guests were not. Could not make it because of a lot of things. Uh, they're all filmmakers, they're all BL movers, and some are on set, some are stuck in traffic. But we'll make sure that we have more of these discussions because I've learned a lot. I'd like to start with Sir Vincent. The only, I think, Sir Vincent De Jesus. Your thoughts, sir? Let's stick with 1 minute or 1 to 2 minutes per person. Do you think the medium is effective right now in our current situation?
Um, effective. I don't know how to gauge the effectivity
Mm-hmm.
of a medium because we don't have a tool to measure it. But
Mm-hmm.
basing it on the comments on Twitter, on Instagram, it's definitely making its presence felt. And Miles said this a while ago, and everyone said, the point of the whole wave, I think, is to initiate discussion. Sometimes I still have to get used to it. Sometimes people message me directly on Twitter telling me you should write this. I mean, people I don't know, but I just read them. Some are insulting, some are, you get the whole range. But I just read through them, and in a way, I think the fact that they went out of their way and sending you a message means they're affected in a good way, in a
Mhm.
bad way. They're irritated. Maybe it's not the story they're looking for. Maybe they prefer this show, which is good. I mean, some shows will make it. Some shows will do better. Some will, unfortunately, probably not succeed. But I guess that's how an industry develops. Some make mistakes, and we hopefully, if we do a season two, we learn from it. And uh, the important thing is we keep telling our stories, especially the queer story. And I personally, as a gay person, I don't care if you're a straight woman, a straight man. A story is a story. A certain truth will always be true, and it's just like Louis said in at the end of the whole exercise. Hopefully, this falls under romance or tragedy or drama with no more BL, because it is what it is. It's a love story. So I guess that's the ultimate goal, and hopefully we're there. We're getting there. From the writers to the directors, I mean, it really means a lot, especially Psycho Milk. And we really, really, truly appreciate your efforts in bringing this out, having this beautiful conversation. And it really strengthens the community here, locally, and internationally. And that's all we need. Your support and love is very important. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sir Vincent. Let's go to Miss Jamie. Your thoughts? Is the medium effective at this right now? Looking at this.
Okay. I
Mhm.
actually totally agree with Vincent and with everyone here that it shouldn't be anything about boy love or girls love. It's about two people, in a normal life, in everyday life. Anyone can fall in love. Is They just live their own life. There isn't any one who can judge how they should live their life, you know. And I think that, well, I actually I have been and live in the countries that um, people people are accepted same-sex marriage. Like in the UK, you can get married legally, which is great. I've been in the wedding as well with my friends. They have kids and everything. It's just something normal. It's an everyday life. So we shouldn't think that, okay, this is men love men or girls love girls. It just is a life. So anybody can do anything they want. And I am so sad that there are many countries that still prohibited, or those people who love the same gender have to hide from the public, or the most terrible thing is they have to hide from their own family. As a mother, if my daughter one day she will come and tell me when she grow up that she loves someone from the same sex, I wouldn't have a problem. I will give her full support, because this is what people should do. If she open up to me, only thing is I just have to, I will be very happy to support her. And whatever will happen, the only thing I will worry is that the person is really a lover or not. It's not the person is girls or boys. You know what I mean? And even though the countries that really support the LGBT community, there are still some people that against them anyway. So this is really, really sad. And I think that we could be a part, even though I don't know, it's a big part or small part, being a writers and directors who produce novels and produce TV series or movies about same-sex couples. I really do hope that we can help the community and help people to understand more, to open their mind more about this. And anyway, I think that your time is running out. So thank you so much for having me. And thank you to create this meeting for all of us to share our thoughts. And I'm very happy to talk to all you guys.
That was very beautiful, Miss Jamie. And I just want to read something from the comments. This is from Alvin, who's actually one of the Psycho Melkis was supposed to host today, but unfortunately he had uh, prior engagement. He has a talk. He said soon the titles will not be applicable anymore when our society normalize all forms of love and give equal recognition and rights to everyone regardless of who they love, which is very beautiful. Saying that, I'd like to hear from Sir Vincent Tricafrente, please. Yes, sir. Do you think so far is the medium effective? Sir Vincent, I think you are on mute.
Okay.
There.
So, basically, before I started this series, I don't have any idea what is BL story before, and all I want is just to write a story. And some of the people are telling me that why are you writing a story like this? This is for BL, and some other people saying that this is for a gay or queer story. So I researched about BL. So I don't have any idea what this BL series is all about. So basically, to influence this kind of, to tackle about this for this kind of stories. Basically, I just want to put my own experience for this question, because before we I'm part of the LGBT community, and this series, this Lacan series, is all about, I'm tackling all about um emotional attachment. It's not more of the gender, because when you love someone, when you love a simple, like, a things, or maybe it's not a person, a pet or a toy, you're really into it, and you don't know what to do. If just you in love with this thing, with you in love with this pet, you in love with this person, there's no such explanation that you need to say, but all you need is just to love this person, just to love this pet, just love this toy, because when you have this emotional attachment inside you, there's no I think there's no explanation for this, because I experienced a lot of this before, because honestly speaking, I'm the person to explore all of the genders that we have in the LGBT community. So I had a relationship with a lesbian, a gay, queer. So the feeling that, oh, I'm not focusing on the gender or the preferences. I'm focusing more of the emotional attachment that they give or I receive from this person. So basically, when I write this series, I'm focused on like on emotional attachment of the person because me, I like to have a adventure story. Like for example, I have experiencing relationship with a straight guy, and right now I'm a gay. What happened if I have a relationship with a straight guy? Is it possible, or is it what happened? I mean, what is kind of this what relationship that we were facing? So I experienced a lot of stories, and right now the reason why I wrote this Lacan series, the format that we have is straight relationship because I just want to express and to share this story that no matter who you are or what you are, as long as you fell in love or you attach to a certain person, there's no such thing as no explanation for that. All you need to do is receive and give love to this person because no matter what, I agree with all we need is love thing because right now all we need is love. That's why we accept uh, any care, love, attention to the other people, maybe in the other trees or other places, because all we need right now is just to unite and to be loved and to be cared and to appreciate what we have right now. And that's the, and maybe I think that's the essence of having this Lacan series. The emotional attachment is important and love each
Yes.
other no matter what who you are, what you are, as long as you're in love.
Correct. Thank you very much for that words. Um, I feeling ko gusto ko ma-inlove ngayon because of those words. Miss Denise, what are your thoughts on this?
To wrap up,
Mhm.
I want to thank you guys again for inviting me. This has been very, very insightful. I have kept notes, especially the insights of C. Lance earlier. I will keep that in
Mhm.
mind. But for me, to wrap everything up, if there's one thing that I would love for our viewers to take away from watching Boys Lockdown, it's this: you are valid, your feelings are valid, you are deserving, and you are worthy. That's it.
Thank you very much. And just hearing the words valid is actually so fulfilling that even a stranger, even maybe a person that I meet on the streets telling me that I am valid is something that
You're
is
valid.
something to celebrate. Exactly, exactly. Thank you very much, Miss Salmon. Scene. Any last words? Is the platform a good thing? This is your first book to be adapted. How is it so far?
I am very excited that one of my book got adapted into series.
Mm.
Um, I for the question number three, I will answer it quickly. In
Mm.
Thailand, I think the platform, the BL, is now become so popular and is
Mhm.
super effective in terms of engagement.
Mm.
Not only the TV series and also the book, a novel as well. So in terms of engagement, I think it's super effective in Thailand for now because all of the bestseller uh-huh, is on the shelf like a big shelf in everywhere in Thailand. The BL genre. So everybody knows BL, but I'm not sure about the effective of the content that the reader or the who watch the series get from the BL content that we created these days. I think in the future, I am expecting the content to be like more educative, more uh, they will put something like about education, about the recognition of the real life LGBT people, and also about about sex education, or not to do a sexual harassment or something like that. So in the future, I hope that um, because of this huge engagement, we can do something about it. Yeah.
Thank you very much for those words of wisdom. And then we are very excited for Manner of Death. By the way, to all the filmmakers and writers here, we will be putting on links as soon as we upload this as a regular video later. We will put the links on where you can. Where they can purchase your books, and where they can find your other works. Kindly just DM me on my Twitter so that I can put it on the descriptions. Um, Also, to the reactors and those that have channels here, kindly also send me. Of course, I have the links to all the series. I will put that also down below. Before we go to the members of the Psycho Milk family to give their last take on the forum, I'd like to hear from Shaki as a reactor. You've seen a lot of these series, both from Thailand, Korea, a lot of the series. Um, what do you think? Since you are from a more westernized country, and you grew up in different with the different mindsets, is the effective is the medium effective now for us, and also for better understanding of the issues? Is
Um,
the platform effective there?
I'd say it's effective. You know, being that again, if it's not something that we're used to seeing, it's nice that we get a chance to see like ourselves on screen. I think everybody kind of said it. BL is been a worldwide phenomenon at this point, stretching all the way from Thailand to now the Philippines, all the way up to freaking Taiwan. And hopefully we can get more BL-esque shows here in the US because we don't really have a lot. If it's either
Mm,
just centered around a gay character or a gay couple
mhm,
within a straight series or a heteronormative series.
mhm.
um Doing these shows and reacting to these shows have actually changed a lot for me because I wasn't expecting to continue doing reactions, but once people started watching and really taking notice and seeing how it's impacting a lot of folks with these stories, I just had to continue. And of course, there's a lot. You can honestly pick and choose which one you want to watch, but they all kind of center around the same core, really, which is trying to have understanding of LGBT stories and stuff like that. But it's like in your face, as I've said, where it's showing you real life stuff. So
Mhm.
I'd say it's been plenty effective. If people don't like it, that means that it's making noise, which is needs to happen, I think, at this point. So to all the writers, you guys are doing such a great job. As I can't believe I'm actually speaking to one of the writers of a highly anticipated PL show, which is Manner of Death. Even as a reactor, I'm hoping I can react to it, but we'll just have to see what happens with that. Also, from speaking to someone from Boys Lockdown as well, that show is actually really, really cute. I'll be reacting to that once I'm done here. So I'm very excited. So much love to every single one of you, especially Vincent. I am probably gonna cry today, but we'll see what happens. Episode 7. So yes, it's been amazingly loudly effective, and I hope for more. 100% hope for more.
Thank you very much, Shaki. Jivan, what are your thoughts on the effectivity of the medium now that you're basically a newcomer in the reacting part of the BL series? How do you think is it effective so far in bringing issues to life?
I guess we can see it in two ways. First way that I feel that it's pretty effective is from the fact that it's garnering so much popularity, not just worldwide. And I've learned a lot of things from BL, the things that I never knew. And yeah, I guess a lot of people from the community that support the community, I guess, have learned a lot of things about the community, and I feel like they, they know about it, and they, I guess, practice in their own life. So I feel like in that way, it's pretty effective. In what way I feel like it's kind of not really up to the mark effective is, I guess, the BL and the GL shows that are coming, I guess, are mostly watched by the people that are either from the community or are the allies of the community. Okay, I don't feel like, I don't see a lot of people that are not from the community straight who, watching the show. I mean, I'm not generalizing it. I'm saying a lot of people do not even know what a BL and a GL means, so let alone knowing about the community. So in that way, I feel like uh, it's not really up to that mark, because I guess most of the people do not even watch because they think that it is something which is not normal, which has been taught to us from from the beginning of our birth. So I feel like to make it effective, like all of the other straight series that come and go, which makes huge impact, not just on a particular country but on the whole world. I feel like the problem has to be solved from the root down. The fact that we are just taught about male and female in our books, in our primary schools, I feel is very wrong. Why are we not taught about sexuality, which is so important, which is so important factor in a person? So as we are not taught about this, we are not even taught about it at home. We look at it as something which is not very normal. So I guess in that perception is in a lot of people's minds. So I guess that is the thing that really stopped people from watching BLs and GLs that has been coming around. I just hope that that the perception that a lot of people have in mind would change eventually. It is changing actually, but the effect has been, I feel like, has been very slow. We're in 2020, and BLs has been, I guess, been out there for many years. But the progress that we're making, I guess, in Asian countries, if I can say, has been kind of slow. It might be different in some countries, but I feel like majority of the countries are still unknown about a lot of things. So I feel like in that way it's ineffective, and the reason is totally the perception that we've been taught since our childhood. So I feel like if that would be solved, then the people would not have this feeling that BLs and GLs are something very different, and they would watch it eventually, and that would also affect and impact their lives in a way that straight movies and series would do. So that I feel like it has been effective in the community, LGBTQ plus community, and the people that are supporting it, but effective to the people who are not really ready to watch, who do not really watch the show. I don't know. I feel like I feel like yeah, that's the thing. So that's it.
Thank you very much, Ivan. There's a lot of things that we can actually learn from the youth of today, because their mindset is so much different than what we used to when we were growing up. That's what I believe. So, Miles, what are your thoughts? Final thoughts?
So I kind of agree with Jivan, because like if we talk about is it effective to gain the awareness or raise awareness in the society, on society, yes, it is effective to raise the awareness. That's because after the series we have discussion, people talk more about it. However, I don't think that series, artworks, movies or such things is the only way to actually quote unquote solve the problems. So the main question is actually after you watch the series and then what you can do in the real society. So this is the medium is effective to raise the awareness, but to solve the issue, we should work together as a part of the community, as part of the society in this world. So the writer, the producer, the director, they have done their part to raise the awareness to the series. And then us as a viewers, we also have a part. What kind of impact, what kind of real action that we can actually do in our real life to make this world a better place? Because once I review a story from Korea. It's a movie called No Regrets. it was broadcasted in 2006, and I reviewed it in 2020. But the stories of that movie, we still see it even 14 years after that movie is released. Stories like Ken and Shake, we still see it up to this day. So the medium, the series, the movies, the artwork is effective to raise the awareness. But I think we still have a long way to go to kind of solve the issue, to shape a better world. So I'm actually inviting everyone to take part to build a better world for all people, regardless of the gender, the race, for all
Right.
people. So movie and series is a medium that can help people to gain the awareness, to start talking about it. But we don't stop when people start talking about it. People start talking about it, and then what we can do next, it's I think the biggest challenge that we have to figure out together as part of the society in this world. So in that sense, I think, yeah, it's kind of effective, but we still need another push to make another effect on the world. And I just want to wrap up with to all my brothers and sisters, to the community of the LGBTQ plus community. Thank you very much that up to this day you are still striving, you are still thriving and not giving up on life. Thank you very much for being who you are. I'm very, very thankful to have known all of you. So thank you very much for being here, for still existing in this world and not giving up on living. So thank you very much for that. That's it from me.
Thank you, Miles. Thank you, Miles. We love you. Nate,
Okay.
any thoughts?
So I remember before I go to answer this third question, no, I remember Sir K tweeted in regarding the BL fan kuno, or parang in Tagalog nga yung salitang BL fan kuno since 2014, and supporting their series, which is My Extraordinary, since nandito si Sir Vincent De Jesus, bashing all about the series.
Yeah.
Diba, Sir Vincent? But for me, I know that we have different tastes in when it comes watching BL series. And if you are bashing this series, just keep quiet, because you're not helping them. You're helping them by means of adding the number of views. And and the reason is, why are you still bashing if your comments are just some quite of a nonsense? So yun. So yun, nag-tweet din ako all about doon, na quote arty ako doon. So going back, if this is so is the medium effective in addressing the issues? Yes, the medium is really effective right now for the youth. Why? Because it addresses the acceptance, it addresses the stigma when it comes to tackling the issues of HIV or anything. It is also addressing effectively when the writers are doing their jobs. And I support all the writers. I am appreciating all the writers of this BL series, of their different BL series, especially Miss Denise, Sir Vincent, and all the writers of this BL of their different BL series. And that's it for my thoughts for this third question.
Thank you very much, Nate. Before we actually wrap up everything and then say goodbye, I'd like to thank everyone who's here. Our writers from Thailand, our Psycho Milk co-contributor from Nepal, Jivan, and of course Miles from Indonesia, Sir Vincent. both Vincents. Shaki, all the way from the US, woke up very early for our forum. I'd like to say that from what it initially started out as a fantasy, um, I think BL has come a long way. And with the growth of the BL in each of the countries, and they are growing in different ways. Uh, they're growing in different, in various or different styles. But I believe the medium is effective in addressing or showing issues that are present and issues that are not being talked about. But I'm also agreeing with Miles that even if, yes, we are showing the issues, we are telling the people that there is an issue. Even those who think they are an ally and believe that they are doing the best for those members of the community whom they know. But if we do not take action, if we do not take it upon ourselves to put one step forward into the right direction, into normalizing them, into taking out the gender, taking out the sexual preference criteria on everything, then all of this will actually be nothing but issues that were brought out to the open. So, yes, I believe the stories, I thank the writers, I thank the producer, I thank the filmmakers for making these stories happen and for in showing us snippets of what different lives or what different aspects of the spectrums are. But if we, whether we are part of the community or not, if we do not take our part or do our part in the changing the world, then the world will not be changed. So I'd like to thank everyone again. Before we all go, I'd like to invite everyone. We have several other live Zooms. On Tuesday, we have, on Tuesday, what do we have? We actually have
Why of why?
questions, no one, why love why on Tuesday, which is answer or strip.
Answer or strip.
Yes, answer or strip. Don't tell your mother about this. That's the name of the event. It's
Yes.
actually a little sexy, naughty game, a late night game with the actors of Why Love Why. We met them earlier with Sir Vincent and Miada. And then on Friday the 13th, we have questions no one dared ask with the influencers cast and crew. We are now creating some of the questions. Miles and I are actually jotting down questions that nobody dared ask other BL actors. Let's see what they will, if they answer or not. Also, I'm not sure if I can say all the details, but we have a series of live streams with the actors of Asterisk together with Warper TV of Thailand. So we have those as well. And also, we're planning the finale after party of Boys Lockdown, as well as the finale party for My Extraordinary. So, of course, we have a party after for Lacan Series 2. But for now, I'd like to say thank you very much, Kobun Krap, for our Thai visitors. Thank you so much. I hope we can invite you next time again with another discussion, with another set of questions. This has been very educational. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
And
having us.
It was nice meeting you,
Thank
Saman.
you so much.
It was nice meeting you,
It was
Saman.
nice to
bye-bye.
meeting everyone.
This is
Nice to meet
okay.
you
Hi.
all.
Hi,
Nice to meet
Steve.
you guys.
Thank you for dropping
Yeah.
by. Steve is hosting us. Any last words, Steve? You have any?
No. I usually
Merry
can't say anything.
Christmas.
Okay. So I will end the stream now. Thank you very much again. And this has been fun, educational, and there's been a lot that I learned tonight. Thank you. Merci.
Thank you
And
so
kung
much. Good night.